Happy Friday, TV family. We're back to wrap up the week. We're now halfway through the month, but we're at the end of the work week. 15th day. 15th. I get paid. It's payday. Yeah, all right. I don't know what I'm going to do with my $87.19. I'll probably just blow it over the weekend. I'm Dan Kuntz. It is chilly. It is quite chilly. 46 degrees, and it's going to be chilly and windy all weekend long. Active weather. Maybe even a couple of spittles of rain. We had an unexpected rain shower this morning at about 4 o'clock. It's already exited the downtown area, but there's still some pockets of light rain in some viewing locations. But it's going to be chilly. You're going to be out and about this weekend. You're going to want to bundle up. Temperatures are going to be quite cool, especially for this time of the year. It's going to feel more like mid-April than mid-May, and we're not done with the wind yet. That forecast details are coming up. A lot of things to do this weekend. No lack of things to do this weekend, and most of them are outdoors, so just be prepared there. News, yes, because that's what we do. Sports, yes, because that's what we do. Mariners took 3 of 4 from the Astros, including yesterday's matinee. They're back in Seattle to take on the Padres over the weekend. A lot of preps to talk about. Some teams saw their seasons come to an end yesterday. Others still have a chance to make it to state. Quite a bit of prep sports to talk about. Speaking of sports, another big night of racing action at Wenatchee Valley Super Oval tomorrow night is Driver Appreciation Night. Jeremy Anders will be in studio to talk about that. That's pretty cool. And we didn't do it yesterday because we didn't have time. We'll do Pause for Pets this morning. Veronica the dog, still in dog jail. Been there for a while. Let's see if we can find a permanent home for Veronica. We have a lot to get to today. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get right to it. Our cameras around the valley. It is cool. It is 46 degrees in the Wenatchee Valley, 38 in Manson, 43 in Omak. Omak and Moses Lake are going to see overnight lows tonight and Saturday night into Sunday, down into the mid-30s. We'll talk about that when we get to the weather forecast. We're not going to get that cold here in the Wenatchee Valley, but some areas are going to get very chilly for the overnight lows for the next couple of nights. Good morning to the valley. Good morning to Lake Chelan from Bear Mountain. They still haven't quite gotten all the way to where they need to be, but they're working on getting the lake filled up. The last I checked, basically they need about another 2.5 to 3 feet to get it up to the level that it normally is by Memorial Day weekend. Of course, Memorial Day is early this year, as early as it can be, but a nice view from our Bear Mountain camera over the placid Lake Chelan up to the Tumwater Canyon camera we go, and we say good morning to Leavenworth. Has Mayfest come and gone? I don't know. I've lost track of what's going on. Once we get to May and apple blossom and everything, the days have a tendency to blur together to me. Sometimes I don't even know what day of the week it is. I do know it's the month of May. That's about it. Hey, 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 it's Hay Canyon. And we say good morning to Kashmir. Beautiful up there. Long days now. They're getting really long. 5:24 was sunrise this morning. Sunset tonight, 8:31. That buys us 15 hours and 7 minutes of daylight. We're still gaining a little over 2 minutes of daylight each day. I mentioned that we're going to have some pretty chilly temperatures. The lows tonight and tomorrow night are going to keep things a little on the chilly side. Now for tonight and tomorrow night, just the places to the north of us. Omak, you could have some frost issues in some other places, but the overnight lows Sunday night and Monday night are going to get really cool in some locations in our viewing area. As I mentioned before, Omak and the Moses Lake area, you're going to see overnight lows for the next 3 or 4 nights in the mid-30s. We're going to be more like around 40 or so for the overnight lows, so we'll keep a close eye on that. From Colonial Vista Senior Living in Wenatchee, where comfort, care, and community come together. As far as wind is concerned, this is going to be the calmest day. Wind will only be about 10 to 17 miles an hour, but we're only going to get to 60. Keep in mind our normal high is 71, so a little on the cool side. Partly cloudy tonight. The winds will pick up as another short wave comes into our area in the overnight tonight, so we'll dip down to about 42. It's going to be windy tonight. It's going to be, we'll say, breezy on Saturday. Quite a bit of sunshine. It's going to take us a long time to get to that 61-degree mark, so it will be chilly most of the day on Saturday, and then we got the wind picking up again on Saturday night with an overnight low of 42 for the valley. And again, many locations will see overnight lows dipping down maybe even into the mid-30s on Saturday night. High pressure begins to reestablish and build in on Sunday. It'll be here by Monday, which is why we'll get to 72 degrees. And then we have a nice dry warming trend. But again, Cool and breezy is the two words to keep an eye on from Mother Nature this weekend. All things considered, though, not bad. No rain. I can deal with that. Going to take a break and come back with your Friday morning headlines. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. That was very painful on the NCW Life channel.
When life gets stressful, reaching for a vape might seem like a quick fix, but vaping can actually make feelings of anxiety and depression worse. Each time you vape, nicotine tricks your brain into feeling rewarded. And the more you vape, the more nicotine receptors your brain creates. Over time, your body needs more and more nicotine to feel good. And when you can't get enough, you can experience withdrawal symptoms like anxiety, mood swings, and depression. Learn more at chooseyouwa.org.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
Get ready to sip, sway, and celebrate at the Lake Chelan Wine and Jazz Festival, May 14th through the 17th. Experience over 35 live performances featuring jazz, blues, funk, and more, all set across award-winning wineries and scenic venues around Lake Chelan. Enjoy world-class wine, incredible food, and one-of-a-kind musical journey through wine country. Don't miss the Lake Chelan Wine and Jazz Festival. Get your tickets now at chelanwinejazz.com.
Quite a bit of clouds up Lake Wenatchee Way. We have some sub breaks. It's chilly, 46 degrees. We're only going to get to 60 today. That's it. And it's going to be breezy, borderline breezy to windy, really depending on where you're at. Pretty much right through the weekend. We start rebounding to warmer temperatures by the time we get to Monday, but Monday is next week. It's 8 minutes after the hour. The Wenatchee Police Department announcing yesterday it has closed out a cold case homicide 40 years after the crime was committed. Back on May 14th of 1986, Wenatchee police responded to a report of a dead individual behind what used to be the Stanley Center on North Wenatchee Avenue, who was identified as Carol Trakoff. Her death was ruled a homicide, and at the time, police weren't able to identify a suspect until January of 2023. That's when retired Detective Sergeant Ryan Weatherman began looking into the case, and with the help of the Washington State Patrol Crime Lab, was able to locate DNA of an unknown male. In February of last year, the DNA was determined to belong to Henry B. Leland of Kamloops, British Columbia, who died in December of 2007. Through testing of Leland's sister's DNA, police were able to confirm Leland's identity as Trakoff's killer. Investigators say there was no evidence to suggest anybody else, so they make the case officially closed as of yesterday. A 38-year-old Anacortes woman was arrested on Wednesday in a suspected road rage incident on Icicle Road in Leavenworth. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office says a silver Range Rover tried to run the victim off the road near the intersection with Highway 2, and the female driver brandished a gun, threatened to shoot him. Deputies say the victim tried to drive away, but the female suspect, identified as Ashley Wick, began to follow them. When deputies arrived in the area, she was allegedly still following the reporting party and was taken into custody without incident after a traffic stop. Wick, who has previous felony convictions, was booked into the Chelan County Regional Justice Center on suspicion of first-degree assault, threats to kill, unlawful possession of a firearm, and false registration. The Central Basin Investigation Team says detectives are in the final stages of reviewing the fatal officer-involved shooting by Grant County Sheriff's deputies back on February 16th. That's when 33-year-old Aaron J. Amon was shot and killed after emerging from inside a plastic water tank on rural property northeast of Moses Lake. The sheriff's office released a video in the following days that showed deputies negotiating with Amon for about 3 minutes before he finally came out of the tank holding what police say was a rifle. He appeared to ignore commands to drop the firearm, and the deputies opened fire. Moses Lake police officers were also on the scene. They did not fire their weapons. All 5 sheriff's deputies who have law enforcement careers ranging from 2 to 11 years were placed on administrative leave while the shooting is investigated. No agencies involved in the incident were part of the investigation team. The new round-trip flight between Pangbourne Memorial Airport and Portland is supported by a combination of federal grant funding and local investment for the next couple of years. The route is backed by a $1.15 million funding package, including a $750,000 grant from the United States Department of Transportation's Small Community Air Service Development Program. That's designed to help small communities improve air service and address airfare challenges. And additionally, 11 local partners, as of this week, contributed $400,000 to support the Portland route, including the City of Chelan, Confluence Health, and Columbia Valley Community Health. Port CEO Jim Kuntz says the funding includes money originally pledged for a future flight to San Francisco that was redirected to support the Portland route. Port officials say the funding provides a revenue guarantee intended to help sustain the route during its first 2 years of operation. The new route, which begins on October 3rd, comes as Pangbourne continues rebuilding services following pandemic-era reductions. The Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center is hosting a groundbreaking ceremony tomorrow. They're going to celebrate the beginning of their $30 million renovation project. It's a free event, and it's going to be jam-packed with events. There's going to be a rummage sale, live performances, a salmon bake. The groundbreaking ceremony itself will take place at 11 a.m., and then after the ceremony, the museum will close for 6 weeks as exhibits and staff transition to off-site locations. The art gallery, guest services, and administrative headquarters will be stationed at the temporary location at 30 South Mission Street, just down the road. Annual museum events like the Multicultural Fest, the Haunted Museum, and a night at the museum will continue at various locations throughout the area. The museum is expected to reopen sometime in 2028. And the Wenatchee School District's Arts Festival that was scheduled for this afternoon along the Apple Capital Recreational Loop Trail has been postponed because it's just too darn chilly. According to the district, the low temperatures can wreak havoc on string and woodwind instruments. They're not designed to be played in colder temperatures, so they decided to postpone it. The event will be rescheduled at a later date, assuming that it warms up, and I'm pretty sure it will. And that's what's making news on this Friday. Everybody's looking forward to the weekend. Everybody's working for the weekend. I've heard that somewhere before, but we still have one more day to go, and that's today. So tune in tonight at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock for the NCAA Life Evening News, 5, 6, and 10, or you can watch it on YouTube right around 5 o'clock. We'll put a link on our Facebook page. We're on Roku. We're on Apple TV+. We're on that Amazon Fire HDMI thing. And if you have a news tip, send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. Mariners take 3 of 4 from the Astros, including yesterday. That leads sports. We'll make it back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
At Colonial Vista Senior Living, we believe life is meant to be lived fully. Our wellness programs inspire residents to stay strong, flexible, and confident every day. Here, curiosity is encouraged, friendships are nurtured, and every activity is an opportunity to connect, create, and enjoy life together. We invite you to experience the lifestyle at Colonial Vista Senior Living for yourself and discover why so many call our community home.
Apple Valley Honda is bringing the future of driving to you. Introducing the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue EV. Say goodbye to gas stations and hello to a whisper-quiet ride and zero emissions. The wait is over. Finally, a local option for a quality EV from a brand with a track record of exceptional quality and reliability. Experience the Honda Prologue EV for yourself at family-owned Apple Valley Honda. Stay close to home and visit us at Apple Valley Honda today for the life you live.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
A kitchen that makes mouths water and jaws drop. A bedroom from a dream with a bath from a spa. A walk-in you'd never want to walk out of. A pool like the fountain of youth. And a view that never gets old. When buying or selling a home of the highest standards, it's comforting to be represented by a real estate company with standards to match. Coldwell Banker Global Luxury. Live well with Coldwell.
Sports at 16 after the hour. Luke Raley blasted a 3-run home run. Welcome back Mitch Garver. He jacked his first homer of the season, and the Mariners beat the Astros yesterday. The final was 8-3. Of course, Mitch Garver is going to be catching for a while now because Cal Raleigh was placed on the 10-day injured list after tweaking an oblique muscle on Wednesday night.
1-2. Cracked high, deep, left field. This is at the wall, and it just sneaks into the Crawford boxes. It is gone. It's an opposite field 3-run home run from Luke Raley.
Luke led off yesterday's game in his first at-bat going into those Crawford boxes. From our vantage point here, it looked like it was going to go into that little crevice around the corner, but that ball continued to fade. At me and to my left, I go. In front of me, I stay.
Gloved out to right field towards the alleyway. This is backed by the wall, and it's Pat Smith, and it goes. It does stay in, and Donovan makes the turn. That ball rattled around. Yes. He's got a double and now a triple. Kyle Tucker deal. This finds Crawford again. He gets it out of his glove to tag, and out at third base is Shoemake. Really nice play by J.P. Crawford. Well, the Astros are challenging this.
Outball, third base. He's sliding a long way there.
Tough to tell from that angle definitively.
After review, call stands, runners out, Houston losing the count.
Very close play, and the call stands.
There we go.
Deep fly, not coming back. Mitch Garver back to the Crawford boxes, onto the concourse. Second home run today by the Mariners.
Well, we know Mitch has got that big power. And Burrows makes a mistake on the middle part of the plate. And Mitch.
Hit hard into right field for a base hit. Canzone makes a turn. It's coming around to score. It's bobbled in right field by Smith. Garver racing home. The throw not in time. Cole Young drives in 2 more. The opposite way to the alley, left center field, and it's a base hit. Rolls to the wall. Raley is racing into third base, being waved home. And J.P. Crawford drives in a run. Luke Raley scores from first. That is the ball game. Strike 3 called. The Mariners win it. They take the series 3 games out of 4, and they fly home with a winning road trip. 8-3 the final.
A lot of good things happening here this afternoon. That guy right there, I don't think he missed one swing. Mitch Garver with his first home run of the season.
Mariners host the Padres. First of a 3-game set over the weekend. First pitch is at 6:40. You can watch that on television. You don't have to have Mariners.com. By the way, Sterling Hancock gets the start for the Mariners. It'll be on King 5 TV. Just 2 games, the American League West. The Mariners knocking off the Astros, and the Cardinals beat the Athletics 5-4. Nobody in the American League West wants to take charge yet. It's the middle of May. All right, here we go to the preps. The District 5 4A soccer champions in the district level is the Davis Pirates. They beat the Wenatchee Panthers in Yakima yesterday 4-2. At the same time, over on the east side, Eastmont rolled over Sunnyside 6-2. Davis moves on to the state tournament, and they get to do it again. Eastmont and Wenatchee will play for the 3rd time this year. Something's got to give. Saturday, 1 o'clock at Leib-Off Field at the Apple Bowl. Winner goes to state, and the loser sees their season come to an end. That'll be good. In the District 5 1A soccer tournament, all of these are tomorrow at Royal High School. You see 8 teams there. 7 of them are going to state. Cashman will take on Cascade for the district championship at 5 o'clock. Connell will take on Royal at 3 o'clock. Both of those teams will go to state regardless of who wins. Wapato and Tonasket will do battle at 1 o'clock. Again, both of those teams have already punched their ticket to state. Okanagan, though, they got to win tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. over Wahluke, or their season comes to an end. The District 5 4A softball tournament. Congratulations to the Eastmont Wildcats. Eastmont had a good day yesterday. They went all the way down to Yakima and they beat West Valley 3-2 to win the district championship. So the Lady Wildcats, they're on their way to state. Moses Lake rolled over Wenatchee 24-4 out in the basin. And so now Moses Lake and West Valley will do battle Saturday at 1 o'clock. Winner goes on to state and the loser sees their season come to an end. It's all on the line for Chelan tomorrow in the combined District 5 and 6 1A softball tournament. They will play at Medical Lake tomorrow at 1 o'clock. If they win, they move on to state. If they lose, their season comes to an end. And the District 5 2B softball tournament scoreboard, Cle Elum rolled over Brewster 20-2. Tri-Cities Prep crushed Tonasket 12-2. But those 4 teams still have a shot at state. Not so much for Liberty Bell. Their season came to an end. They just lost to Warden in a real nail-biter, 31-0. Let's talk about baseball. District 5 4A tournament. The schedule for today is this. Moses Lake will take on West Valley at 5 o'clock for the championship. West Valley is going for their 3rd straight district championship. And at Dan White Field at East Wenatchee tonight at 5:30, it's the Panthers and the Wildcats in a loser-out game. The winner of Wenatchee and Eastmont will take on the loser of Moses Lake and West Valley for one last chance at state. And the District 5 1A baseball tournament in Ephrata, it's all day tomorrow. Cashman will take on Zilla for the championship. Both of those teams will go to state, regardless of the outcome. At 12 noon, Chelan will take on Royal in a loser-out game, and same deal with Natchez Valley and Connell. The winner moves on to state. The loser is done. And the District 5 2B baseball tournament schedule at Big Bend Community College in Moses Lake. Okanagan will take on Tri-Cities Prep at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Win or lose, they're still alive. Kittitas and Liberty Bell at 12:30. Again, win or lose, they still have a chance to make it to state. But Riverview and Tonasket will play at 1 in a loser-out contest. I'm going to have to do a lot of sports on Monday morning, I just have a feeling. And those are just some of the games that people are playing at 22 minutes after the hour. There are a lot of holidays out there, obscure and otherwise. First of all, if you live in Paraguay, happy Independence Day. Paraguay earned its independence from Spain way back at like 1804 or something like that. So I have a lot of people who watch the show online in Paraguay. Happy Independence Day. It's International Day of Families. It's National Chocolate Chip Day. It's National Nylon Stockings Day. It's Bring Flowers to Somebody Day today. National Straw Hat Day. International Customer Support Day. But today is a pretty sober holiday. Today is Police Officers Memorial Day. It always falls on May 15th to begin Police Officer Awareness Week. And here are some statistics. Some are pretty sobering, some not so much. The United States has about 19,000 separate law enforcement agencies. A lot of countries, they just have a national police. We don't do that here in the United States. How many sworn and certified law enforcement officers are there in this country? About 1 million. Give or take a couple 100,000. I didn't have a chance to count them all. About 12% of all active duty police officers or law enforcement are women, about 12%. The deadliest decade for law enforcement officers were the 1920s. Prohibition, the guns were better than the ideas on how to stop them. In the 1920s, 253 law enforcement officers died each year on average. The deadliest year in law enforcement history was 1930. 312 law enforcement officers died that year. Texas has had the most law enforcement deaths. They have lost about 1,800 law enforcement officers in Texas since Texas became a state. Police officers are much more likely to commit suicide than the general population, and 90% of all the law enforcement officers in Great Britain and England don't carry firearms because nobody carries firearms. There you go. It is Police Officers Memorial Day today. 25 minutes after the hour. Today in history, happy birthday, Las Vegas. That's the city flag of Las Vegas. May 15th, 1905. 110 acres of what will become Las Vegas, Nevada is auctioned off. More than half of the 20 largest hotels in the world are in Las Vegas. The famous Las Vegas Strip and the famous welcome sign. We all associate Las Vegas with the Strip. That's actually in Paradise, Nevada, not in Las Vegas, Nevada. 15% of all the visitors who go to Las Vegas go to do one thing, gamble. That's it. 71% of tourists visiting Las Vegas do some gambling, and 14% of tourists who go to Las Vegas don't gamble at all. They go for the food and the entertainment. Las Vegas is the brightest spot on Earth. When you visit Earth from space, up in space, you can pick up, well, it's out in the middle of nowhere, so you can understand that. And of course, the story of Frederick W. Smith, I think you know this by now, the founder and CEO of FedEx, who was down to their last $5,000. He had a $25,000 fuel bill for his fleet of FedEx airplanes, and the companies were barking down his neck, and a judge was getting ready to just, give his creditors the airplanes. And Fred Smith took the last $5,000 that FedEx had. He went to Las Vegas, played blackjack, and won $27,000, was able to pay off the $24,000 outstanding fuel bill, and FedEx was saved. We lost Fred Smith earlier in the year, but it's always a great, fascinating story. Happy birthday, Las Vegas. Happy birthday to McDonald's, but McDonald's doesn't really consider this their birthday. It was on this date in 1940 in San Bernardino, California, that the McDonald's brothers, Richard and Maurice, opened their very first McDonald's restaurant. The McDonald's Corporation considers the birthday of McDonald's much later, when Ray Kroc bought out the McDonald's brothers and began to franchise McDonald's, but the actual first McDonald's opened on this date in 1940. There are now a little over 41,000 McDonald's in the world. Enjoy. Nobody knew it at the time, but it had to begin sometime. It was on this date 85 years ago today, May 15th, 1941. Yankees got creamed by the White Sox. The final was 13-1. Joe DiMaggio, though, he went 1 for 4 against Eddie Smith, and thus his legendary 56-game hitting streak would begin, and it would last all the way through July. But it started on this date in Chicago in 1941. And finally, everybody remembers this day in 1981. Everything stopped. The world gathered around their television screens to watch the immortal movie, The Harlem Globetrotters on Gilligan's Island. Debuted May 15th, 1981, an historic cultural landmark in this country's history. Still to this day remains the highest rated television broadcast of all time. More people watched it than watched the moon landing. I still get teary thinking about that. Let's do some birthdays. The undisputed mayor of the strongman of Chicago, the last of the big city mayors, Richard Daley, mayor of Chicago for 21 years, and unlike the other cities in the Rust Belt that saw a decline in the 60s and 70s, like Cleveland and Detroit and Toledo and places like that, Richard Daley made sure that didn't happen to Chicago. Chicago actually thrived. The last of the big city bosses, considered one of the most powerful politicians that wasn't the president in this country, Richard Daley, born in the state in 1902. The man who shot 23 seconds of footage on his 8mm Bell and Howell motion picture in Dealey Plaza on November 22nd, 1963, the dressmaker Abraham Zapruder, born in the state in 1905. Of course, he sold all the rights to the film to Time Life. He sold it for $150,000. Of those $150,000, he gave $25,000 to the widow of J.D. Tippit, the police officer who was shot and killed about 45 minutes after the president. And Abraham Zapruder never, ever filmed anything again with his home movie camera. And George Brett, a great third baseman. I got to admire George Brett, but God, he used to kill my Yankees back in the 70s and the 80s. He used to own my team. Second most base hits among third basemen of all time. He won the batting title in 3 different decades. He's in the Hall of Fame. He's an incredible baseball player. Yes, he ate my Yankees alive, but what do you do? Happy 73rd to George Brett. I do respect him as a baseball player. He was good. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. For heat and air, Call Alpine Air. They are our platinum sponsor. This is the time of the year when the temperatures fluctuate that your HVAC system doesn't know whether it's coming or going. If you get a brand new HVAC system, some of what they've done with HVAC systems, it's almost like plug it in and forget about it. It runs itself. And if you think it might be time for a new HVAC system, your first and only call should be Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. Going to take a break in just a second here. Mike Benatti's got an opinion coming up. We talked racing with Jeremy Anders. I always like it when Jerry Anders comes in to talk about racing. We'll have a little conversation about what they got going on at the WVSO on Saturday night. But first things first, Veronica the dog is still in dog jail. Not her fault. Let's bail her out. Spas for Pets.
Hi, I'm Corley with Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, shelter manager here, and today I want to introduce you to our Veronica. Veronica is, we think, about a 3-year-old black lab mix, and the only reason I say mix is because she's got these adorable tiny little ears, and I would love to know what she's mixed with to have these cute little ears. Yeah. Veronica, we brought her in as a transfer from Yakima Humane because she needed a new set of eyes on her, and we had the room, so we love to work with our shelter partners in that way. But we got her back in March, and so it's already been 2 months and she hasn't found a home. And she's so great. She really deserves a home. We love her. Veronica loves doing absolutely anything and everything with you. She is our playgroup rock star here. We actually use her as our helper meter greeter for new dogs especially, because she matches other dogs' play styles so well. She brings out the best in other dogs. And I don't know, we're gonna really miss her when she's adopted. So great, yes. She can be fun and playful and boisterous with other dogs and people. We do know from the other shelter that she's not so great with cats. They didn't tell us exactly why, but it could just be that she is a lot for them. She's a lot of energy in this little cute black lab body. Yeah. But other dogs, absolutely perfect. And as always, we recommend that you bring your dog down to meet our dogs before you adopt. See if they all get along. We think Veronica would be an amazing family dog, but we do suggest that if you have kids, they be over the age of 12, just because she is pretty bouncy and she might knock them over. She's kind of a lot in this little body, but she has an absolute heart of gold. Like all of our dogs up for adoption, she is spayed and has a microchip, and she's had all of her vaccines. Yeah, and she comes with a clean bill of health. Veronica is a very smart girl. She knows her sit really well. She will stay and she will come, and she's working on give paw. So she's working on some new tricks, and we think that she can learn a lot more. She's very food motivated, and that's super helpful. So if you'd like to come and meet our Veronica, we are open 7 days a week from 12:30 to 6, and we would love to introduce you.
Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org. NCW Life Channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCW Life would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
You trust the same doctor for your health and the same dentist for your smile. Trust Global Car Care to keep your vehicle running strong. We track your car's history so it gets the right care at the right time. With our 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on parts and labor, you'll drive away with confidence. Global Car Care, your automotive experts. We service all makes and models, but specialize in Sprinter vans, Mercedes, Audi, Volkswagen, and BMW. Call or visit us today.
Highlander Golf Course and Grill, your place for fun, food, and friends. Happy hour every day, 2 to 7. Try their brand new menu and famous prime rib every Saturday night. Planning a celebration? Book your holiday party, wedding, or private event, even in their exclusive simulator rooms. Highlander Golf Course and Grill, where every day is a celebration. Visit today.
For over 35 years, the Sangster family has been not only representing GMC, but the entire community.
As one of the few family-owned dealerships in Washington, you can count on our personal integrity, which has spanned over 3 generations, to ensure your satisfaction.
Sangster Motors stands behind everything we sell, from GMC professional-grade products and service from a professional-grade dealership.
Remember, caring about your family is what brings you back to ours.
This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, I think it's safe to say that all of us here today, myself included, have at one time or another committed a criminal act. You know, shoplifting, driving after you drank too much, you name it. Now, does this make you a criminal? No, it does not. In his excellent book, Inside the Criminal Mind, criminologist Stanton Samenow explains that criminality is a lifestyle, it's a belief system, yes. He says we've all done things that are aberrant to our behavior, to our nature, but this does not make us criminals. Now, with this in mind, I'm going to say that if an individual takes incredible risks to do what is necessary to obtain a better life for themselves and their family, and does so by seeking the dream of freedom that our great nation offers, and by doing so enters this country without documentation, this does not make them a criminal. No, it doesn't. No. Ask me how I really feel. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Hey, welcome back to Save Mart. What can we help you find today?
We're looking for a mattress.
Oh, right this way. We got a large selection. We have this pillow top here.
Oh, comfortable.
We have more to choose from down here.
Oh.
I think I have the perfect one over here for you.
I guess we'll take this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Your piece of land demands the very best equipment. Kubota equipment. The #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. with professional-grade mowers, versatile sidekick utility vehicles, and compact tractors that get it done right. All backed by unmatched dealer support. Talk to your dealer today to schedule a demo.
Fibercrete fireproof safety rooms can be the difference between life and death for you and your family. Typical fireproof safety rooms are 8x8 Fibercrete panels providing a solid sanctuary. Fibercrete safety rooms can be above ground, buried underground, or built within new home construction. Best of all, a safety room by Fibercrete is very affordable. Call 360-770-2088. You owe it to your family to find out more about Fibercrete safety rooms.
Welcome back to the show. Your weekend plans have now been made. On Saturday, you want to head downtown, enjoy the big Mexican festival right in the middle of downtown. Then you want to go do the Downtown Criterion, which is all part of the Tour de Bloom as those bikers go around driving real fast. And then you want to go up to the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval on Saturday night and watch other drivers drive real fast, and to preview Saturday night at the track, making his very first appearance here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's nice meeting you, Jeremy. Help me out.
Jeremy Lin.
Jeremy Lin. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Cool. Yeah. I loved your album. It was good. Yeah. Jeremy Anders, everybody. Give a big.
Frank Kuntz, right?
Yeah, that's it. Frank Kuntz, former mayor of Wenatchee. How you doing?
Good, good.
You actually had last weekend off.
Yeah.
Which is remarkable because you've been going a million miles an hour since you and I met up at the track. The day you opened the track, the day you got it all cleaned up and everything for the first night of racing, and you've been going essentially nonstop ever since. Jeremy just doesn't work Friday and Saturdays. He works all the time. You actually got last weekend off, which was probably a treat for you.
Kind of off. I mean, my kids all had sports, so it was that whole entire time, and then we had Mother's Day on Sunday. So the one weekend we're guaranteed to have off every year at the track is Mother's Day weekend. It's the state junior rifle competition shoot, so we always know we have that one weekend off, and a lot of times I end up on the racetrack, but this year I just stayed home and was.
Do any of the local tracks race on Mother's Day?
Like Evergreen was going, and Skagit was going. A couple of like State Line was. They do a festival that weekend. Originally, I think Tri-City is supposed to go, but we're always off that weekend, which is nice. So I think the moms like it, and the people know. And it's the one I always tell people, like, well, if you want to schedule a wedding, schedule it on Mother's Day weekends. It's the only guaranteed week I can guarantee you're gonna have it off. So.
You had a big race a couple of weeks ago. It got a lot of attention in the racing world. Kevin Harvick's kid came into town and took on the old man, Garrett Evans. Garrett didn't do so well, but he's 70. We'll cut him some slack there.
Yeah, but both drivers actually had really good cars, but they both got involved in wrecks that hurt their cars. So that was unfortunate for them. But it was a really good race altogether. I mean, it was really a battle shootout. I mean, Alan Kress took the win, and I mean, we had I think 6 or 7 different leaders in that race. It was great racing the whole entire time. We had 30 cars for just the late models alone, which is a huge field. That's a big increase. Like last year, we only had 19 or so a big increase there. We had a huge crowd.
Nobody left. I mean, there were what, 10, 12 yellow flags and a couple of redders where everybody has to stop because of wrecks cleaning up. But nobody left, even though it took a long time to do the race.
Yeah, we had a couple big oil downs, and anytime you have the oil downs, it just takes a while to clean up the track and just kind of change the track condition a little bit. But I think that it was and there's a lot of drivers. There was 5 drivers who were racing Wenatchee for the first time ever that weekend. So that's always a learning curve for people as well.
And now you're right back at it again. You're going to be working hard. This Saturday is Driver Appreciation Night to appreciate the drivers, because you don't have drivers, you don't have races.
No, so we brought this back. It's been a while since we've done it. Brought back this year, so we're honoring our drivers in some different ways. We have Fan Fest on Saturday, so you can go down on the track and meet the drivers at 5:30. Gates open at 5 o'clock, and a lot of them have autograph cards. Some have some special giveaways they're going to do. Like I just got my son's hero cards ordered, so he'll have those. You know, like all the people, it's kind of a fun thing to go through and collect. And then on top of that, we're going to have some drawings in the pits for our drivers. So all of our drivers, like, we're giving them things they like race fuel and tires and things for their cars and stuff like that. So just kind of a way to appreciate the drivers and show that we care about them. And then we're doing some stuff with them also that they, for our drivers, they get some tickets to use to give out to friends and family and sponsors like that. So.
And GISA, one of your new sponsors, is on board. And this is pretty cool. If you're a member of the GISA Credit Union and you're one of the first 30, you can get in for free.
Yeah, first 30 families.
Right.
So they GISA Credit Union stepped up this year. We're really excited about them, and they're one of our great new partners, the official bank of WVSO. And so we're doing this 3 times, the GISA Credit Union Family Nights. The first 30 people to show up at the front gate with your GISA Credit Union debit or credit card get a family pass, or it's good for 2 adults and 2 youth, anywhere from 6 to 17 years old, which is like an $80 value for free to come to the races that night, which is really cool. And on top of that, they have some giveaways inside for all the members as well. So they're really, if you're a GISA member, you definitely want to do it. And if you're not a GISA member, it's worth going and sign up to be a GISA member, because you can have 3 races for free to bring your whole family for. So they're a great bank. We're really excited to have them on board. Just moved my son's banking over there. They're also one of our partners for the Wenatchee 200. We're doing some other big things to them as well, so we're excited about that.
Yeah, and kudos to GISA for doing that, number one. And number 2, you're right. They're as far as credit unions go, their reputation is sterling.
Yeah, and they have some really good things. We're going to partner with them. They're doing our first responders night later in the year. They're really big focus on supporting our first responders, and so we're excited just to have them on board. And we're both finding like things like, oh, let's do this and let's do this, and they're like, we're neither one of us are saying no yet, so it's good. So.
Rockstar Energy B-Mods, the Dixieland Air Conditioning Thunder cars. Guards, the Napa Auto Parts Bandoleros, the Plum Perfect Roadrunners, and my favorite, the B&T Towing Youth Roadrunners, which is, I think I've mentioned this before, that's always my favorite.
Yeah, the Youth Roadrunners, and that class has really stepped up this year. I think we're at like 11 cars, and we have 6 new drivers, and the ladies are at it. We got, I think of those 6 new drivers, 5 of them are girls. And so it's kind of a cool thing to see, and the class was really excited the first weekend. So this is their second race out, but they've been off for a month. So their last race is on April 18th, so we'll see if they're a little rusty at all, but I know that they're really gearing up for a fun race weekend.
I know this as a fact because I've been to the races any number of times, either just to go to have fun or televising them in years past. This has happened. The family goes up to the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval. They do a night of racing, and they're hop back in their car, and they're driving down Fancher Heights back towards the valley, and the 7-year-old kid says, "Dad, I want to be a race car driver. This looks like it's cool. This looks like it's fun." Your advice to parents out there who are going to deal with a 7-year-old who says, "Dad, I want to be a race car driver," because it's not a cheap hobby, but economics should not stand in the way. If your kid really wants to get into it, you should figure out a way, right?
Honestly, if you compare it to some of the stick and ball sports nowadays, it's not that far off. I mean, I have kids who play, in club sports, and
hockey's expensive, golf is expensive,
soccer's expensive.
Right?
They're all expensive in some sense, right? And there's traveling too. The nice thing is a lot of these are the races you can do locally for that. And I mean, it's an activity where you're actually going to do. I mean, not very many where you can bring the whole family, and you can have grandpa and aunts and uncles and dad and mom in the pits working with the kid, helping work in the car. And then it's an activity where you're working, that's probably the funnest times for a lot of these families is not at the track, it's the working on the car, getting the car ready, or learning stuff. But these kids are learning mechanical skills at 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. I know when my son first started, he didn't work on the car a whole lot, but now at 12 years old, he knows a lot about the car. He can help work on it. He can tell me about the car and things like that. So he learns things like that. How many 12-year-olds know how to drive 70 miles an hour and know how to drive through traffic at 70 miles an hour? And he's probably better driver than half the people on the road, probably including myself sometimes. At 12 years old, right? But he's been racing for a while. And there's a lot of those other kids too. I mean, so it's a great skill, and it teaches really good hand-eye coordination. I mean, all that stuff, it teaches skills. And the one thing I hear from people a lot of times is, the safety factor. And honestly, I always say this, I've been around my whole entire life. I have my kids that do it. I have drivers that do it. Racing's a pretty safe sport, especially with the technology we have for safety things with like the Hans device and the head and neck restraints like that. I mean, when you're getting in a race car, you're in a full containment seat, you're back here, you have a good helmet on, you have a head and neck device, you're not going anywhere. You have a 5 or 6 or 4-point harness belt, you're strapped in there super tight, whatever. You have a fire suit on, a lot of people have Nomex underneath that, you have gloves on, you have shoes, you are super protected.
Your safety crew is top notch.
Yeah, and our safety crew is top notch. And then you're inside of a car that has multiple roll cages built for impact like that. I mean, I'll say, for example, my son hit the wall a few times now, one a couple of years ago, 60 miles an hour head on, destroyed the car. He got out, and I knew he was okay, but we double checked, went to the hospital, it's fine. Was running up the hill at Slidewaters, playing at Slidewaters the next day on a Sunday or whatever, goes and plays another sport, and hurts himself, and on the sidelines for 3 weeks from that. So you tell me what is safer. I don't know. That's the way.
You're probably safer driving 60 miles an hour at the WVSO than you are driving 60 miles an hour on the freeway.
Especially George Sella Bridge, yeah.
Right.
Going 25 miles on George Sella Bridge there. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think it's a sport too, and they learn a lot of things in the sport too, because it's an individual sport, right? But sportsmanship you get taught for that. You learn so many things in that sport, and I mean we've seen it now. There's a lot of drivers who do racing, but they also do other sports because it helps them out in other ways. So.
And it should be pointed out, we've talked about this before. You don't get to see it in the pits on the backstretch, but it's a big family back there. When somebody throws a piston or needs a spark plug, somebody yells help, and they all come running.
Yeah, when somebody pulls in, you see you'll see that crew go there, but then you'll see crews from other people jump in there and help, whatever. I mean, for a bandolier example, if a bandolier pulls in, there's an incident or an accident or something like that, you'll see 4 or 5, dads okay, what part do you need, something like that, and that's how it works for almost all the classes like that. Nobody wants to see anybody wrecked. Everybody wants to see everybody on the track. If I've seen it before where somebody's wrecked their car and somebody's walked up and said, hey, you're in the points battle tonight, I was in a race tonight, you can race my car. And that happens more often than you think this. And that's just guys, like to say you have a $5,000 race car, $10,000 race car, $20,000 race car, you give your hand over to someone to let drive it, that's pretty amazing right there, right? You don't see that happen in other sports.
You going to watch the Indy 500 on the 24th? Is that Andrew's family tradition?
I try. Well, the 500 is a long race. We have the 500 and the 600 both in the same day. There's like an hour and a half before. So it's like scanning back and forth and watching both, whatever. Indy, I try to watch I know this is kind of bad, right, for Indy, but I like to watch the last 25 laps of the Indy 500, and then the Coca-Cola 600. I'll watch the majority of that race there.
Didn't a couple of drivers over the years done both? They did the Indy 500, and then they took a private plane.
Kyle Larson just did it last year. I just saw a post this morning that Kathleen Legge, who has only 2 starts in the Cup Series, is going to try to attempt it this year. She's raced IndyCar quite a bit. She's trying to be the first female to ever do it in 2 days, but it's a lot because it's it depends. Last year was really close because there's a rain delay, and there's an hour and a half. It's been an hour and a half travel, and you got to have private plane, private helicopters, all set to do whatever, because you're traveling from Indy to Charlotte, which is probably about a 45-minute private jet flight, but you got to get from a helicopter to the jet to another helicopter back. And I remember last year, Kyle Larson changed in his plane, took an IV in his plane, so he got fluids fight that.
Yeah, he just got through driving,
and then got
500
out of
miles.
the helicopter, walked straight to the car, and got into it. So, but you got to think that's a lot of miles too. And
it's a lot. It's 1,100 miles of driving.
You have to be in pretty good shape to do that too.
Yeah. So you're immediately.
Well, he got lucky last year because then it ended up raining out at they raced the race on Monday, I think it was, or late in the evening. So yeah.
So that is Saturday, May 16th. We're going to briefly tease you about the weekend coming up on the 29th and the 30th. I'm just going to say one word. Kevin Harvick, who won it all in 2012, he won the points championship, the season championship, what everybody shoots for. Probably the biggest single driver ever to come to the WVSO since it opened in 1970. I may be wrong, but I don't think I am.
No, I think you're pretty on spot there. He's named one of the top 40 greatest NASCAR drivers of all time. He's a champion. He's a Daytona 500 champion. He's won throughout the whole entire ranks. You watch him every Sunday. He's the main broadcaster on Fox for their all broadcast there. It's really cool to have Kevin here. I would say it's probably maybe one of the biggest sports names to ever come to the Wenatchee Valley too. He has had a historic career. He is really excited about coming too. His son came here a couple weeks ago, and Kevin's had this one circled on his bucket list for a while. He raced a late model about probably 2 months ago, and so he's going back into it. He's been on the broadcast the whole entire time. This is his first race back out, his first race in the Northwest this year. It's going to be really cool, and we have a huge field of competition that weekend.
Everybody's going to want to race against this guy just for bragging rights.
Yeah, it is going to be a big race. $25,000 to win, $2,000 to start, $100,000 purse, 200 laps in front of a packed capacity grandstand. We have some more stuff too.
We're just teasing. The only reason I brought it up is get your tickets now. Don't dink around. Get them now at WVSO.com. And you want to set aside both Friday the 29th and race day on Saturday the 30th for that. WVSO.com. Same thing for the races on Saturday night. You don't have to get into 2 lines. If you get your tickets in advance, it's 1 line and you're in. And don't forget, if you're a GISA credit union guy, first 30 families, mom, dad, and 2 kids under the ages of 17. I'm not pooping on you here. You will get in for absolutely free. Rockstar Energy, B-Mods, Dixie and Air Conditioning Thunder Cars, the Napa Auto Parts, Bandoleros, Pump Perfect Roadrunners, B&T Towing, Youth Roadrunners. Have a good time Saturday, and we will talk about Kevin real soon, all right?
Sounds good.
Making his very first appearance on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's, Jim Andrews?
Jim Y.
Jim, okay, there you go. And we will be right back.
When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the Diagnostic Doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units.
Community is more than just a place. It's the people, stories, and connections we share. At the Wenatchee World, we're your neighbors, your storytellers, and your trusted voice. From uncovering the issues that matter most to celebrating the moments that bring us together. deliver the stories that keep the community moving forward. The Wenatchee World, your community voice, here every day.
All right, weekend is almost upon us. First things first, pool to spa services. I promise you folks I'm going to memorize this. I haven't had a chance to. I have a great memory, it just isn't very long. Upgrade relaxation with the Bullfrog Spa featuring the exclusive jetpack therapy system for personalized comfort in every seat. Visit Pool to Spa Services in Wenatchee and designed a spa that's built for you. We have some time. We're going to do some cameras around the valley again. I suppose it's slightly different from the cameras that we showed you about 55 minutes ago, with the exception of the Wenatchee Heights camera. Our #1 news gathering tool is that baby. That is a 4K camera. That means it costs us $4,000. I don't know what it cost us, but I mean, first of all, it's a stunning sight. But that thing, since it's a 4K camera, we can get some incredible shots from quite a ways away. We'd like that camera. That, of course, is somewhere around here. Lake Antioch checks in. This is what happens when they build a dam and the town of Antioch goes under 20 feet of water. They rebuild the town someplace else and they name the reservoir after the town that used to be there. Sounds convoluted. Doesn't look like there's much snow left up on Mission Ridge. It continues to melt there, but a nice view from Lake Antioch from the Orondo Rock camera. Beautiful shot there. Camera 3, where's Malcolm taking us? Up to Nanapoc Ridge. I saw this camera about an hour ago. It was looking pretty cloudy and pretty gray, and the clouds were hanging down low. Not so much now. And by the way, they got a little bit of snow on Dirty Face a couple of days ago. You can't quite see it. All the snow had melted, and then they had a little dusting of snow on top of Dirty Face. By the way, that's an unbelievable view if you ever get a chance to hike up to the top of Dirty Face. You can drive a little ways to the trailhead, and then it switchbacks until you get to the very top, but it is a stunning view. Heads up, though, if you're going to hike that Dirty Face trail, you got to be in shape. It's quite the workout. And camera number 4, up to Billy Goat, USA. Omak is at 46 degrees. This is a good time to remind you that when we talk about temperatures and wind and relative humidity and all that stuff, all of that is at Pangbourne Memorial Airport. It's a big computerized weather station. Nobody has to go out there and do anything. It's just constantly being updated all the time. I bring that up because it's 48 degrees up at Pangbourne. That's the official measuring station because you got to put it someplace. And I just went outside about 15 minutes ago, and there wasn't hardly any wind at all outside of our studios in downtown Wenatchee. At Pangbourne, they say they have a wind out of the west-northwest at 22 miles an hour, but I didn't feel anything down here. But Pangbourne Memorial Airport is about 900 feet higher in elevation than where the Columbia River flows through the valley, so that does make quite a bit of difference when you talk about things like that. All right, from the National Weather Service, here we go. We're going to get a little, oh yeah, chilly morning. Thank you, Mac, for throwing that up. I would have forgot. We're not going to be too bad here in the Wenatchee Valley. We're going to see overnight lows right around 40, give or take a couple right through the weekend, but there are some locations specifically to the north of us, Omak, Okanagan, Tenasket, Riverside. You're going to see overnight lows dipping down perhaps into the mid-30s, and the same deal out in the Columbia Basin. Moses Lake, Ephrata, Ritzville, Royal, you could see some pretty chilly overnight lows, especially on Sunday and Monday, so heads up there if you have plans that are sensitive to the cold, and then again, are we all? Okay, from the National Weather Service, that way if you don't like the weather, blame the government. Partly sunny and not too bad wind-wise. As far as wind is concerned, it's not going to be too bad. It's going to be fairly breezy, but Not going to be as bad as Saturday and Saturday night. It's going to be really windy tomorrow. 60 is all we're going to get to. That's it. 42 for the overnight low tonight. Tomorrow, sunshine for the most part all day, but it's going to be quite windy, especially in the afternoon and evening hours. We're talking gusts pushing 30 miles an hour on Saturday and gusts at 30 miles an hour on Saturday night. Chilly, 42 for the overnight low. Things start changing on Sunday, especially by Sunday afternoon, as the last of these short waves exits the area, and we're in for a warming trend into next week. Provided this show isn't canceled, I will see you on Monday. Until then, bye-bye.